Welcome to Echoes of Africa, where hidden stories, bold voices, and untold truths rise from the heart of the continent. Before you dive in, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because every echo here reveals the Africa they don't want you to see. East Africa enters a new energy era as a major international pact with France unlocks access to one of the world's most powerful underground heat reserves hidden beneath the Rift Valley. The agreement signals a major shift for the region, where rapid population growth, industrial expansion, and rising electricity demand have long clashed with inconsistent power supply, frequent blackouts, and heavy dependence on imported fuels. Cities and industries have struggled for decades under unreliable grids, while communities across Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Tanzania, and beyond faced rising costs and unreliable access. The Rift Valley, stretching thousands of kilometers across East Africa, holds an enormous concentration of subterranean heat, pressure, and naturally heated water deep beneath the surface. For generations, this resource remained largely untouched. Drilling was expensive, risky, and technologically challenging. Energy companies and governments hesitated to invest, preferring cheaper, more familiar options like hydro dams and fossil fuel plants. Yet climate pressures, droughts affecting hydroelectric dams, and rising oil prices pushed nations to seek alternatives. That unexploited underground heat became an opportunity too large to ignore. The new France-East Africa Pact transforms that opportunity into a structured, bankable project. The agreement provides financing for drilling, technological support, drilling rigs, expertise, and power plant development. French development banks, engineering companies, and African government agencies signed long-term commitments to explore, identify, and convert underground heat pockets into baseload electricity. Shared financing reduces the risks that previously scared off investors. Advanced drilling technology lowers the chance of project failure. Training programs help local engineers take over operation and maintenance. East Africa gains more than technology. It gains leverage. By securing guaranteed long-term electricity purchase agreements, countries ensure stable prices for 25 to 30 years. That stability attracts manufacturing industries, data centers, and foreign investors. Businesses gain confidence that factories will no longer shut down due to blackouts. Hospitals can run life-saving machines without relying on diesel generators. Farmers can power cold storage, irrigation systems, and processing centers. Students can learn under reliable lighting. The economic multiplier effect exceeds the power plants themselves. The Rift Valley's geography gives East Africa one of the strongest underground heat profiles in the world. The Earth's crust is thinner here, allowing heat from the mantle to rise closer to the surface. Reservoirs of hot water, steam, and superheated rock lie in many locations, making large-scale energy extraction more realistic than in other parts of the world. Once wells are drilled, often 1,000 to 3,000 meters deep, pressurized steam can be brought to the surface to drive turbines and generate electricity continuously, day and night. The process requires no fuel imports, avoids emission-heavy generation, and offers low operating costs once built. The pact includes investment in transmission lines needed to carry new power from rural Rift Valley zones into cities and industrial regions. It also supports regional grid integration, aiming to connect Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and potentially other nations into a unified East African power pool. A connected grid allows countries with surplus energy to export electricity to neighbors, creating reliable income streams while strengthening regional cooperation. If successful, East Africa could become a power exporter, shifting the region from energy deficient to energy abundant. The economic implications are large. Stable electricity lowers business costs, boosts manufacturing, increases foreign investment, and reduces pressure on national budgets by cutting fuel import dependence. Governments currently spend billions importing petroleum for power generation. Redirecting those funds into domestic development would significantly improve fiscal health. Over time, the region could build industrial parks powered entirely by underground heat. Green fertilizer factories, metal processing plants, tech hubs, and food processing centers could emerge, creating a new generation of jobs. The environmental benefits are equally important. Using underground heat avoids the emissions, water use, and pollution associated with coal and diesel plants. It provides consistent power even when rainfall is low, unlike hydroelectric dams. Combined with solar and wind, it creates a diverse, resilient, and clean energy mix suitable for the climate realities of East Africa. The pact emphasizes environmental safeguards, requiring strict monitoring of groundwater use, land stability, and ecosystem impacts. Local communities are meant to be included in planning, compensation, and benefit sharing. However, the path forward is not without risk. Exploratory drilling does not always succeed. Some wells may fail or produce insufficient heat. Poor management or corruption could derail progress. If communities are not properly consulted, land disputes and social tension could arise. If maintenance is neglected, plants could underperform or fail prematurely. Transmission lines must be built across challenging terrain, often requiring negotiation with landowners. Ensuring transparency, accountability, and community involvement will be essential for long-term success. The geopolitical effects are significant. France gained strategic influence by supporting Africa's clean power transition, while East African governments gained bargaining power in global energy diplomacy. The pact signals to other world powers, China, the U.S., Gulf states, that East Africa is emerging as a major clean energy frontier worth investing in. Competition for contracts, partnerships, and influence is likely to intensify. Early movers like France gain an advantage, while African governments gain the ability to negotiate more favorable terms with other partners in the future. If the pact succeeds, East Africa could enter a period of sustained energy-driven transformation. Reliable electricity could pave the way for manufacturing expansion, digital economies, food security improvements, and widespread economic growth. Households would gain consistent power. Businesses would gain stability. Governments would gain revenue and independence. The region could transition from energy scarcity to energy leadership within a decade. If the pact fails, the consequences would be severe. The region would continue to depend on costly fuel imports and unreliable hydro conditions. Investors would lose confidence. Communities expecting change would face disappointment. Failed wells or poorly managed projects could create environmental harm or financial losses. But the potential rewards of success far outweigh the risks. East Africa's partnership with France marks a pivotal moment. The process is complex, the stakes are high, and the timeline is long. Yet the promise is clear. A vast underground power reserve has waited for centuries beneath the Rift Valley. With this pact, nations finally have the tools, partners, and momentum to tap into it. The next decade will determine whether this hidden energy source becomes the foundation of East Africa's future. You've been watching Echoes of Africa, where every story carries the sound of tomorrow. If this moved you, subscribe now, like, and share so Africa's voice never fades into silence.